You're listening to the Momish Show on TLVY. So Purim is all about drunkenness and happiness and
festivity.
Yeah, and Jax, like, why can't this be a part of our life every day?
Tell me about it.
Why is it just, scheduled for once a year?
So let's find out about laughter.
Okay.
On the line with us, we have Debbie Haddad, who's a lecturer on humor and a yoga instructor.
Hi, Debbie Iancu-Haddad.
How are you?
I'm fine today.
So can you tell us about it?
Can you talk about what you do?
Well, I do several things. First of all, I give lectures on humor, on how to incorporate more humor into your life. Even if you don't think you have a sense of humor, you actually do. It's just not being used at the moment, just like a muscle.
That was one of our main questions.
Basically, everybody has a sense of humor, and you can check it out by if you have ever laughed. If you have a sense of humor. And even if you haven't used your laugh in a long time, you can get back in touch with it. You can get back in touch with things you find funny.
So, like, let's say it's even a physiological reaction. You're saying that's a sense of humor? Like someone's tickling you to death.
To death. or just before death. Well, first of all, sense of humor is comprised of several things. It's a sense of mirth, of merriment, of enjoyment, and it's expressed in all kinds of different ways. So we have the physical response, which is the laughter, which can be elicited in things that aren't humorous. I mean, if I just laugh, I can laugh as a physical response. I can go
That's a very catchy laugh.
Thank you. and I can just, since I have a lot of practice and I work with my laugh a lot, I can just turn it on and turn it off at will. And this is actually just a matter of learning how to use the muscles, learning how to breathe, and the important thing is that the inventor of laughter yoga is called Dr. Madan Kataria. He's actually an Indian doctor, and he saw that the connection between well-being and laughing is not necessarily connected to whether we do find something funny or not. If we actually just exercise our laughter, we'll feel the healthful effects of...
that's very interesting, because is there such thing as fake laughter?
Well, I don't believe in fake laughter, because I'll tell you why. It's like fake breathing. If you're breathing, then you're breathing. If you're breathing deeply or in a different way than you would normally breathe, so you're controlling your breathing in the same way you would be controlling your laughter. But I believe fake is only if you're trying to deceive. So, if you're trying to make somebody think you're laughing with them, but you're not, that would be fake. But if I'm laughing to exercise my laugh or practice, it isn't fake, it's a real laugh. It's just not because, I'm not laughing spontaneously. I'm not laughing without thinking about it. But I am giving a real laugh. First of all, my body reacts to it as it would to any other laugh. Just like if I start running all of a sudden, my body doesn't care if I'm being chased by a lion, trying to catch a bus, or jogging.
Debbie, can you tell us about how we can use humor in our parenting?
Oh, that's really, really important. Well, first of all, it's really important to remember that children laugh naturally more than grown-ups. Children are more in touch with their laughter and more in touch with their humor. And as they grow older, the people around them kind of squash, it's hard to say, but kind of squash the humor and the laughter out of them.
So how do we preserve that?
So we first of all, as parents, we need to remember that the children laughing and playing is a good thing. It's even a good thing when we're trying to get something done. Because, I can drag my daughter screaming and crying to the bathroom to have a shower if she doesn't want to. Or I can find some kind of a game and make showering more fun for both of us so that we both enjoy it and we both get something done. And it's not the opposite of getting things done in an efficient manner. But I'm being more creative with my solutions.
One of my daughter's laughter comes up when she hears the word no. And she loves to laugh at the word no. What can we do there?
Okay, well, first of all, we can join her in laughing, and if she laughs when we say no, and then she laughs and I laugh with her instead of getting mad, because a lot of people's response to children being disobedient in any way is to get mad because we feel that our authority is being questioned. So if we laugh with her, first of all, instead of getting mad, we first of all kind of take away this little annoying response we have. And so if we're not getting annoyed at that moment and we just give a little laugh with her and say, oh, that's funny, is it? Why is it funny? And then try to, progress into the situation without getting annoyed. First of all, we have a huge win for our personal well-being instead of being annoyed just now. We've had a little laugh. We feel calmer.
That sounds awesome. It sounds great. But, please don't touch the R, no. And then, ha, 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 no, and then moves all the paintings. How do we integrate discipline with the laughter?
Okay, well, first of all, if she's doing something that is, deliberately disruptive or unpleasant for us, we would put a stop to it. First of all, by any reasonable means, like removing her from the place of disruption, and then saying, okay, well, let's see what was going on here, because sometimes disobedience is destructive and dangerous, which obviously we have to kind of put a stop to at that second. But sometimes it's just like, no, I don't want to go to bed. No, I don't want to brush my teeth right now. No, I don't want to do my homework. All kinds of little things that are disruptive to maybe our schedule, but aren't definitely dangerous or harmful. I would definitely, kind of draw the line. I'm not going to laugh with her as she plugs her finger into the socket, obviously. Yeah. I might after I get away from there, say, do you want to be a crispy child? Because that would, find a way to, instead of, screaming my head off, still react with a little bit of, self humor, combined humor, and say, I know you like going for a ride, but I don't think you would enjoy a ride in the ambulance. Or, kind of take ourselves down a notch before really, really getting annoyed, but still, obviously, yes, refer to the severity of the situation. Now, people love to give me kind of drastic examples. Okay, the child is running to the road. Should I laugh? Well, obviously no. But
okay, but those are easy. But like bedtime, for example. I mean,
bedtime. I'll give you an example. In our house, obviously my kids don't like to go to bed, and I don't really know any kids who really do. So we often connect it to the last thing they've seen on TV. So I would say, kids, the program has just reached the final stage of the reality series, and you both have been qualified. You are the weak link. Please go up to your beds. And they kind of smile, or we could do we do a tickle fight, or I would have them, when they were smaller, climb on my back and give them a piggy ride to the bedroom. Now it's a bit difficult, they're a bit too heavy.
We do a let's see who can reach the TV
Let's see who
first,
can get to the bedroom first. Let's see who can get in their pajamas first. There are a whole range of games. Obviously making the going to bed part fun would be, making sure to read a story or play a little game when they're lying down in their beds, which can only be played when they're in pajamas in bed. So it makes something to look forward to, make something positive.
I think it's also very much, as you were saying, it's a matter of our approach. Like at the moment, my 1.5-year-old daughter, when it's her bedtime, she escapes the bedroom while I'm trying to get her pajamas on, runs like crazy around the house like a little Duracell bunny, and it's hilarious. She's the cutest thing. Whereas I would have gotten angry or annoyed with my son, now I just laugh at her, and it's a really funny time of the night for everyone. I mean, maybe not the healthiest bedtime routine, but certainly very funny.
Well, I always tell parents, look at the alternative. I mean, if your children are ever likely to march into bed like little soldiers just because you said so, then, you don't have to go with the humor approach. But if you find yourself, screaming and blue in the face...
You're probably not going with the humor approach.
but it's a matter of keeping your humor and yet placing boundaries. It's like, I'm not going to get annoyed, but I'm placing a boundary. I'm not going to get annoyed about that, placing a boundary.
We understand that you run workshops. What do you teach people in developing their humor?
Well, first of all, I do laugh yoga exercises, which actually starts exactly the opposite. So we start from the laugh, and from there we progress to a calmer state of mind, to a better mood, and then we can also see things more humorously. And I also work in lectures, for example, that I give for workplaces, for teachers, on how to incorporate humor into your everyday work, into personal interaction. And there are a few really easy tips, actually, that anybody could use. First of all, life is funny. If we just open our eyes like for a second and look around us, we will see funny things everywhere. And even if you really have a hard time spotting funny things in your everyday life, which takes practice, and I do recommend working on it, there's humor on the internet everywhere. I personally subscribe to several groups that just post funny pictures every day. I find cats.
Are there any topics that are off bounds, off limits for laughing at?
I think there are topics that are off bounds for laughing with certain people. But you always need to put everything into context, like you would anything comes out of your mouth. I mean, obviously you wouldn't tell fat jokes to somebody who's really, really upset about their weight, but I tell jokes about how I eat all the time. I'm actually writing a book about diet humor, on how dieting is a heavy issue. And and if you eat chocolate with Diet Cola, the calories are cancelled out. And how I like to diet religiously. I just eat what I want and I pray I won't gain weight. And I feel that telling jokes about my weight, which is, for me, an issue, it puts me in a better mood, and I feel better about it. But obviously, if someone's really upset just now because they gained, I wouldn't laugh at them, but I would maybe try laughing with them,
Oh, yeah.
Trying to
I
find.
Like that. You can laugh with me. I put on pounds.
Well, I once actually told there's a diet in which is called in Hebrew it's called dietat havalim, which means things that's a pity to drop or to throw away. So maybe we could call it the pity diet, because it's a pity to throw that away. The kids didn't finish it, and I would describe how I used to take my kids when they were smaller out to eat, and then I would finish everything they hadn't eaten because it's a pity to throw it away, and and this is like my pity diet
all the time.
And I was telling this to a religious reporter, and she said to me, you have a pity diet with 2 children, I have 17 children.
Oh my God.
So, you really need to be careful when you decide to go on these.
I want to interview her. I know, that's really good. My God.
And so basically, there's nothing you can't laugh about. You can always chuckle to yourself, if you find something funny. I think that's always legitimate. And one of the things that are really interesting is that people seem to think that, if you're in a bad situation, if you have a problem, if you're under stress, if you don't know what to do, then it's not the time to laugh. And it's actually wrong, because it's the best time to laugh. Exactly. Because if you have a problem and you're under a lot of stress, your mind shuts down. All you can see is the problem and the solution you were planning on, and it is no longer viable, and your brain shuts down and you can't do anything. And laughing at that problem at that time helps you calm down, and when you calm down, you can think clearer.
This is really, really huge, because Jackie and I once had a killer fight, and this is how we ended it, by laughing at ourselves. But how do you do that in real time?
Well, first of all, you try to think, if I was fast forwarding to like tomorrow, would I be finding the story funny in any way? Would I be describing it to somebody and saying, "Oh my God, you won't believe what happened to me, and this and this and this and that and this and this," and thinking how I would be telling this to somebody, and the person is like sympathizing and chuckling at how bad things went wrong. And so, if I can think of a funny way to tell it tomorrow, I'm going to think of a funny way to tell it now.
Debbie, this is wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And everybody out there, have a wonderful and full of laughter.
And chuckling at yourself.
Definitely. I recommend it.
Thanks, Debbie.
You're welcome.